Dark Myth WuKong, Chapter 16, Good and Evil. In this world, there is actually no clear division between right and wrong. As long as something exists, it has its own reason for existence. And what are called right and wrong, good and evil, good and bad, are merely propagated by some powerful groups. They use right and wrong to prove their own value and necessity. Therefore, in this world, there is justice and evil. There are hypocritical immortals, and there are so-called heinous demons. When these two opposing sides develop to a certain extent, in the end, justice and evil will inevitably erupt in an unavoidable conflict. The victor becomes the new justice, and the loser becomes the new evil. The so-called evil never prevails over good is only because justice is always written by the victors. Therefore this war between the demon clan and the heavenly court was inevitable, and in the end, a victor had to be decided. Many people understood these principles, so no one could afford to lose. On the heavenly court side, the four celestial emperors led the way, followed by the numerous heavenly generals. On the demon clan side, Son WuKong led the way, followed by his three junior brothers and the demon leaders. The two forces faced each other in front of the court hall. At this moment, the demon clan army gradually formed an encirclement, slowly closing in, while the heavenly court's forces, despite their fierce resistance, were still constantly retreating. It was believed that before long, the heavenly court's army would be compressed near the celestial palace. At that time, they would be surrounded by the demon clan army. The dignified heavenly court, being surrounded by a group of demons, was a great humiliation. The four celestial emperors absolutely could not allow such a thing to happen. And the only way to change the current situation was for the four celestial emperors to attack again, striving to kill or capture the demon clan's high-end combat power. Only then, under the leadership of the four celestial emperors, could the heavenly court counterattack from its besieged state and seize the initiative. So, the Jade Emperor stood up.
Son WuKong, the grievances between you and me, I don't want to dwell on them anymore. Today you are also the noble commander of one side, and every word and action you take represents the entire demon clan. Therefore, I issue a challenge to you. I will have a one-on-one life or death duel with you. No one else is allowed to interfere until one of us dies. You dare to accept this challenge?
The first half of the Jade Emperor's words were quite gentle, but the second half was filled with murderous intent and overbearing arrogance. An aura of absolute dominance suddenly surged. It was unexpected that the usually gentle and courteous Jade Emperor would also have such an arrogant and despotic demeanor.
Ha 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 ha. Jade Emperor, you old codger, I, old son, can cause chaos in your heavenly court once, and I can cause chaos a second time. Just a Jade Emperor. What do I have to fear? I, Son WuKong, was born for battle. Life never ceases, and neither does war.
That final sentence seemed to ignite everyone's fighting spirit.
Life never ceases, and neither does war. Life never ceases, and neither does war.
This was everyone's roar.
Good, since that's the case, then let's begin.
Before the words were finished, the Jade Emperor had already transformed into a stream of light, flying towards the outer heavens.
WuKong, be careful. This old codger is so arrogant. I'm afraid he's up to something.
This was Sha Wujing's warning.
It's nothing, don't forget. I am the great sage equaling heaven, Son WuKong born fearless.
Laughing wildly, he also chased after the Jade Emperor.
Since the Jade Emperor has already engaged Son WuKong, then shall we play as well?
With that, Emperor Goshen crooked his finger at Zhu Baiyi. Zhu Baiyi initially didn't want to accept the challenge, but suddenly, he seemed to hear something in his ear. Zhu Baiyi instantly froze, and then, overwhelming fighting spirit and murderous intent erupted, shocking the Bull Demon King and the others. They all thought to themselves,
When did this Zhu Baiyi become so powerful?
At this moment Shu Baiyi was already wielding the nine-toothed rake, charging out arrogantly. Without a word, he swung the rake down. Fortunately, Emperor Gushan was prepared and narrowly avoided the attack by dodging backward. Immediately, he also transformed into a stream of light and flew away. Zhu Baiyi glanced back and chased after him. At this moment, the heavenly court had two remaining celestial emperors, but the demon clan had no one who could match them. Just as the bull demon king was about to join forces with everyone to attack, Shawujing lowered his head and slowly stepped out from the group. Then, he stood at the forefront, facing the two heavenly emperors from afar.
Since senior brother and second senior brother have both chosen their opponents, if I don't choose one, wouldn't I embarrass them?
With that, he slowly raised his head. Instantly, the Evergreen Emperor and the Ziwei Emperor opposite him took a deep breath. Heavens, this is Shawujing? Such a ferocious face. Such intense, murderous aura. Such eerie demonic energy, and this pure demonic power. Who exactly is this?
You, who are you? How dare you impersonate the monk Sha?
Me? I was indeed the monk Sha at first, but now I am a great demon of the demon clan. As for my name, I'm still used to others calling me Sha Wujing.
Sha Wujing gently stroked a crescent shovel in his hand, his face full of eerie smiles as he looked at the Ziwei Emperor.
Impossible. How could the monk Sha become like you? He only had the cultivation of a great Luo golden immortal, but your demonic power now almost surpasses mine. How is this possible?
It was indeed impossible before, but today, after I broke its seal, everything became possible.
With that, Shawujing grabbed a string of prayer beads from his neck, except that this string of prayer beads was made of 9 skulls.
When you summoned the deathly water in the celestial palace, didn't it self-destruct? How?
How is it still here, right? Ha! Your tragedy is that you only know how to measure everything with your own eyes. Just like you always thought that the monk Sha was just a simple-minded, honest, and foolish monk. How foolish, haha. The self-destruction in the celestial palace was just an illusion created by my usual accumulation of magic power. This is the real center of all evil in the world. The skull prayer beads of Tang Sanzane.
Sha Wujing smiled eerily, and his strength made everyone present feel terrified. Without waiting for the Ziwei Emperor to ask further, Sha Wujing seemed to have lost his patience. He put the string of skull prayer beads around his neck, and suddenly, one of the skulls glowed. Then, Sha Wujing roared,
Soldier!
Then, the Ziwei Emperor was sent flying backward, and in the blink of an eye, he flew out of the heavenly court into the outer heavens. And Sha Wujing, after giving the Evergreen Emperor an evil smile, suddenly disappeared from the spot, leaving everyone present wide-eyed and with the same thought. So, the monk Sha was actually so powerful. In the arena, only one celestial emperor from the heavenly court side remained, but the demon clan's side had no one who could fight a celestial emperor.
You, who dares to fight me?
The Evergreen Emperor looked at the demon clan with a smug expression. Before the Evergreen Emperor could say a few more words of self-satisfaction, he heard the bull demon king roar.
Fight your grandma. Brothers, let's go. It's a brawl.
Zhou, the Evergreen Emperor, caught off guard, was bombarded by the various magic treasures of the bull demon king and the others. Although the Evergreen Emperor wasn't injured, he was in a state of disarray. He waved his scepter, erecting a green barrier in front of him, and took the opportunity to retreat, preparing to teach these arrogant demons a lesson. However, tragedy often comes in succession. When a large pile of magic treasures, including the flaming spear and the universe ring, struck the Evergreen Emperor from behind, The Evergreen Emperor finally understood this principle. He was ambushed, and it was a gang ambush. After erecting another green barrier, the Evergreen Emperor, having learned from his experience, carefully scanned his surroundings, left, right, and behind him. Only then did he smooth his hair, take a deep breath, and say,
You rats, how dare you?
Before he could finish speaking, a flash of light passed by, and the Evergreen Emperor let out a scream. Then a shining ring wobbled in the sky, seemingly mocking someone.
Hey, old rhino, your diamond bracelet is quite a good treasure for ambushing people. It's a pity your strength seems a bit weak.
This was the Bull Demon King's sarcastic remark.
Father, your words are wrong. Uncle Greenox's ring wasn't originally meant for hitting people's heads.
These words came from a group of people who ambushed the Evergreen Emperor from behind. This group included Red Boy, Neja, the Black Bear Spirit, Jinja, Muja, the Carp Spirit of the Tongtian River, and pagoda-bearing Heavenly King Li Jing. Of course, Li Jing didn't participate in the ambush just now. After all, he was a commander of one side, and he still needed to maintain some dignity.
So it's General Li Jing. We brothers were just about to gang up on this emperor. I wonder if General Li Jing is interested in setting up a heavenly net to prevent him from escaping.
The tone of the Rock Demon King was strange and mocking. Although he didn't know why Li Jing, as a commander of the Heavenly Court, had defected to the Demon Clan. The hatred the Demon Clan held for Li Jing, who had slaughtered them in the past, could not be eliminated. But for the sake of the bigger picture, they couldn't turn against each other. This made it impossible for the Rock Demon King to speak to him gently. Although Li Jing was angry, he didn't say anything. Instead, he waved his hand, and the original 28 constellations of the Heavenly Court appeared in the sky, forming a star array. Li Jing then summoned his own exquisite pagoda and shouted,
Set up the heavenly net to lock down demons' array.
What followed was an unbearable gang assault, except that it was a group of people assaulting the Evergreen Emperor. Let's not talk about how the Evergreen Emperor felt facing so many experts. Let's talk about Sun WuKong, who was already fighting the Jade Emperor. When Sun WuKong finished a pounce, he had already arrived in the outer heavens, and in front of him was the calm and collected Jade Emperor. Seeing the Jade Emperor's playful expression, Sun WuKong seemed to realize something.
Son WuKong, I didn't expect that after so many years you haven't improved at all. You're still so good at fighting fiercely. Wasn't that palm strike from Tathagata painful enough for you back then?
Jade Emperor, you old codger. I know you're not simple. You dared to lure me here alone, which means you're confident in your victory. Or you have a way to suppress me again. So what? I'll definitely settle that debt with Tathagata sooner or later. I don't need you to tell me.
You ignorant monkey. Even if you're powerful, you're still just a wild monkey. My heavenly court has accumulated power for tens of thousands of years. How can you destroy it so easily? Do you really think I'm just an old man who only knows how to approve memorials? Then you're completely wrong. Today I'll let you see what methods I, the Heotian Golden Towering Supreme Naturally Mysterious Jade Emperor, truly possess.
Ha, I, old son, am eager to find out. In this world, besides my master, I've never feared anyone.
The words that needed to be said had been said. What remained was a life-or-death confrontation.
9 Dragon True Chi release.
In an instant, 9 purple-gold divine dragons burst out from behind the Jade Emperor, and immediately, a heaven and earth-like pressure descended. The 9 purple-gold divine dragons swirled around the Jade Emperor, protecting him extremely tightly.
1 to defend, 8 to attack.
Following the Jade Emperor's voice, 8 divine dragons, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws, charged towards Sun WuKong. Sun WuKong was initially somewhat disdainful. This kind of technique of transforming chi into dragons wasn't considered advanced. However, when the 8 divine dragons rushed towards him, Sun Wukong knew that he had underestimated the Jade Emperor. These 9 purple-gold divine dragons were probably not as simple as just transforming Qi into dragons. But after all, Sun Wukong wasn't some fish to be slaughtered at will. On the contrary, he might be a terrifying great white shark. In less than an instant, Sun Wukong adjusted his posture. However, after the purple-gold light flashed, Sun Wukong still regretted it. Because he was injured. The phoenix-winged purple-gold crown on his head shattered. A trickle of fresh blood flowed down Sun Wukong's forehead. The sleeves on both of Sun Wukong's arms disappeared, and countless large and small wounds covered both hands. Although it wasn't considered a serious injury, in this first exchange, Sun Wukong was at a disadvantage due to his carelessness. Ignoring the blood on his forehead, Sun Wukong looked up at the Jade Emperor, a hint of a smile at the corner of his mouth.
It seems I can finally go all out. After being suppressed for so many years, it's finally time to release it.
Along with Sun Wukong's almost insane laughter, a monkey with a ferocious face and hair like diamonds all over its body stood tall beside Sun Wukong. Sharp claws, thick muscles, a domineering body, and sharp fangs. The sky-filling demonic energy and savage-killing intent filled the entire space.
The form of the heaven-supporting Titan ape, release.